Hello, welcome back to your Boxing Day video. So, of course, Christmas Day yesterday, and hope you all had a lovely time. The historic trilogy that we did for the year of 1879 covered the whole of the year in 3 parts in the historic video yesterday, which, say, is actually 3 videos. That is now within the historic section at GazObis.com. So if you haven't seen it yet and you want to have a look at it, go to the top of the page, click the green button that says historic videos, and then it takes you to our historic video page where you have a list of all the videos that we've recorded right way since we started in 2012, and it's the very first one you see in the list, so just click the button link then, the green button, and that takes you to the page where all 3 parts of the 1879 historic video are. It's the most epic historic update video I've ever done. I doubt I'll do this again. Just a one-off, really, to do a whole year in 3 parts. So if you haven't seen it yet, do have a look if you'd like to do that. This video on your Boxing Day is going to be taking you through weather next week to 10 days. Looks like we could be turning colder in the new year. That's the message. I think it's been a very mild December so far, but winter could be just around the corner. Now, we always have to be a bit cautious with model runs at this time of the year. I'm not sure quite why it is. There is a theory that due to lack of aviation data, there aren't that many planes flying around over Christmas Day particularly. Because of that, model reliability sort of goes down a bit over the Christmas holiday, and you do tend to get some quite extreme charts appearing around this time of the year. Whether it is due to the lack of aviation data or it's something else, I'm not sure, but it's something that we do see in many years, so always have to be a little bit cautious. But this has been a recurring theme really since before Christmas. Actually, we started to see this beginnings of a shift towards something colder in the new year. So maybe this year I have to take it a little bit more seriously than we would otherwise do if we started getting cold charts appearing just on Christmas Day. It's actually started, the change that models were predicting started 2 or 3 days before Christmas, and they are continuing to run with the idea. But it's still a way off. It's over a week away, so as ever, we've got to be taking it with a pinch of salt. I'm going to show you the latest ideas from the charts in a moment. Before you get on with that, just say about the ads. This links to articles on the page. Just have a browse through widgets to click through links. If there's any articles that you're interested in, you're going to be having to pay the website. Thanks very much for doing that. For some video ads, both pages, with owner content, when you watch my close back up again, does help to pay for gas office. And thanks for tuning in on your Boxing Day afternoon. So we're going to start off just very quick with Central England temperature from Hadley. This is provisional up to yesterday, Christmas Day. We currently stand at 7.0, which is an anomaly of 2.2 degrees above average. It's been a very mild December indeed, significantly milder than November. I think we are going to come out with a milder month than November. So that's 2 years running we've done that, had December milder than November. Did it last year, did it again this year, have done it again this year, and it is quite unusual. However, this is the high point for the month. I think we will be ticking this down through to New Year, because we are going to have, it's colder today, and we are going to have colder days coming up over the next few days to the end of the year, and also colder nights as well. Nothing significant, but it will be enough to lower this probably down into the mid to low 6s, I would have thought, by the time we get through to the end of the month. However, it will be another significantly milder than average December, to add to that record-breakingly warm month we had last year in December. Right, these are 500 millibar height anomaly flow charts for the next week to 10 days. We've got the E70F here on the top, the GFS, I've looked at it in a moment, is on the bottom. 500 millibars, 80,000 feet is an area in the atmosphere. High pressure, low pressure are being moved around by jet stream running above. Red extrapolates to low pressure, and red to high pressure. These are mean flow charts for next week, 10 days, so this takes us to around the 6th of January, and you see that we've got these red colours here out to the west of the British Isles, out to the northwest, and the Eastern Earth is extending them through the Arctic. Look at that, proper northern blocking, right way back towards the Pacific side of the Arctic. Actually, that's a very large and extensive high pressure stretching from the Pacific over here to the mid-Atlantic just here. On the eastern side of that ridge, we've got a deep trough of low pressure. That's a cold trough as well, extending through many central western parts of Europe, and it does go up towards Scandinavia and western Russia as well. It means that the jet stream is doing something a bit like this. It's quite an extreme jet stream, going something like that. And it is placing us on the cold side of the jet and on the cold side of the blocking. So the winds with that are coming in from the north, maybe even from the northeast. That looks much colder for the new year. That looks much colder into January from the ECMWF. Now, the GFS isn't quite as clear-cut with the blocking signals. So as I say, you always have to be a bit cautious when you're talking about a week to 10 days away. But we have still got all those areas of above average heights, the high pressure out to the west of us, but they're more centred to the west rather than the north. So you do extend up to Greenland a little bit, but overall it's all a great deal flatter, really, this. And we aren't, we're very nearly not on the cold side of the jet stream. Again, very unusual jet stream, doing something rather like that. But it is more Atlantic base there, so it's not as potentially cold, excuse me, and wintry as the ECMWF would be. However, the GFS temperature and precipitation ensembles next 2 weeks are trending colder. So the red line here is the 30-year temperature average in terms of the upper air temperatures. Now, for each new year, this is January the 1st just here, we're going milder than average with the upper air temperatures, but you'll notice there's no precipitation spikes at all through towards New Year's Eve. So it's going to be high pressure dominated, and whilst it is going to be fairly warm aloft, down on the surface will be colder. So we'll be talking about night frost, maybe fog patches the rest of this week, and by day temperatures won't be all that warm. They'll be a little bit cooler than average probably. If any fog lingers, will be notably colder than that. Now we get through to the new year. That's where the interest is really lying at the moment, and you see that we are plunging down with the temperatures and generally staying on the colder side of average, or on the colder side of the red line anyway, which is the 30-year upper air temperature average, through to the end of the run. So that takes us through the first week of January. So it does look as though we're going cold now. There are some significantly cold members in there. I haven't got time to go through the GFS ensembles for you. I might do that later. If not today, then it'll certainly be tomorrow. So we have got some significantly cold and average members showing up for the first week of January. There are milder options though, so it's not totally clear cut, and you wouldn't expect it to be at this stage, because we're still talking about the extended range of the models. So need a bit of caution about it, need a bit of a health warning, but at the moment the GFS ensembles are trending cold for the first week of January. Temperature anomalies going from the 26th of December today, Boxing Day, through to 3rd of January, come out a little bit cooler than average. This really is encompassing the period that we've got coming up with night frost and fog, rather than anything particularly Arctic in origin. Notice again how mild it is up across Scandinavia and northeastern Europe, southeastern Europe, so the Balkans down to Greece and Turkey, still looking very significantly colder than average. The precipitation anomaly is drier than average for the next week, from Boxing Day through into the new year. For most parts of central western Europe, a little bit closer to normal, with those precipitation anomalies to the east. So this is the GFS then, midnight run for Friday, and we're still in within high pressure at this point. So for Scotland and Northern Ireland, it's milder. We're bringing up southwesterly winds, probably quite a lot of cloud there. For England and Wales, I think could still have frost and fog through to the end of the week under that ridge. New Year's Eve brings a cold front down across the country. That's going to bring a band of rain. In the south, it'll clear away any fog, and I think we'll have a milder final day to the year. New Year's Day, this is midnight New Year's Day, just as Big Ben is chiming. We've got a cold front just here. That's starting to allow polar air to move in behind it, so it's turning colder across Scotland. Could be snow showers in the early hours of New Year's Day on New Year's Day. In the south, we've got outbreaks of rain with that cold front. By the time we go through to the 2nd of January, we're all within a colder air mass then. The wind's gone into the north or the northeast. That could well be bringing snow showers to Scotland and eastern parts of England as well. Then the high pressure sort of collapsing down over us on Tuesday the 3rd. It'll still be cold then, hard overnight frost, but we're cutting off the northerly flow of air. But within that ridge, under that ridge, it is going to be quite cold with frost. That ridge is hanging around through the middle of next week. And then we go through to day 10, which is Thursday, the 5th of January, starting to bring another low pressure down across the country. That's probably coming into cold air, could be producing snow in the north, but mostly rain coming down with that. However, once that gets through, then we really do open the floodgates. A real northerly sets in then on Friday the 6th of January, just beyond day 10. That continues to Saturday the 7th. If you follow the isobars back, the air goes a long way north, goes right to the top of the pole, really. So a very cold northerly wind is pushing down across the country. That will be bringing cold temperatures, obviously, and snow showers, particularly to northern parts of the country. ECMWF looks like this. So for Friday, still within that ridge, within the ridge in the south, so frost and fog there. For Scotland and Northern Ireland, it's milder with cloud and showery rain. That takes us to New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, when we bring that cold front down across the country, open the door to that northerly wind. That's how things are looking on January the 2nd. So we're in a cold northeasterly wind. That's bringing wintry showers across many parts of the country, snow showers to the north and the east. The high pressure is centred around Greenland and Iceland. And then, unlike the GFS, which collapses that ridge down across the country on Tuesday the 3rd, the ECM actually keeps that ridge centred out to the west-northwest of us. So we keep the northerly wind going into Tuesday the 3rd, which is a cold wind. It's bringing snow showers into the north and the east. And then we get this feature developing around Iceland. So you see that little low pressure just there. It doesn't look like much on the 3rd of January, but by the 4th of January, that's developed into quite a major feature. It's pushing down across the country. That could be bringing a snow event across parts of the country through the middle part of next week. We would need to firm up on the exact detail of the air masses within that low pressure, but potentially that could be bringing sleet or snow down across the country. It would be one to watch. It is very different to what the GFS is doing, I have to say that. Then on Thursday the 3rd, that low pressure, the trough, is slinking away in Central Europe, and we're just maintaining the winds from the north or the northeast. Again, notice ridging through the Atlantic and extending up to Greenland as well. That looks like quite a strong ridge. The jet stream is doing something a little bit like that. So again, you would suspect that that is... It's not quite locked in cold weather, but it's not all that far from it, and at least a few days after that, I would have thought it would be staying quite cold and wintry. These are the ECM WF ensembles for De Bilt, which is in Holland. Temperature just here, I don't often show you these, but temperatures are just here, starting off very mild at around 10 degrees. By the end of the week, we're going colder. That's with the frost and fog sort of stuff. And then after that, this is sort of a period where we've got those northerly winds coming through just here. And you'll notice the idea is to keep it generally cold in De Bilt, keeping the average temperature within the ensemble around or just a little bit above freezing, with some notably cold outliers in there as well, some really cold minimum temperatures, particularly on some of those. And over here we've got the snow spike chart. So this shows there's no snow coming up through the next week or so, but in the second part of the chart just here, you'll notice quite a lot of snow spikes are coming through. Again, that's telling us that as these northerly winds set in, they're probably bringing snow with them. Now, remember, this is for Holland, it's not for the UK, but it is an indication that the model is seeing things turning increasingly cold and wintry as we go through into the new year. Now, as I said at the start of the video, we do have to have a bit of a health warning about the model output at this time of the year, because and we don't really know why the reasons are, but most years we tend to get quite unusual charts and sometimes quite extreme cold charts cropping up that then don't verify. The model event tends to drop them 2 or 3 days after Christmas. So we're going to have to wait and see a bit longer, but this all started before Christmas, really. About the 21st, 22nd, I think we started seeing the first signs within the GFS ensembles that things might be turning colder into the start of January. So I'm taking it more seriously this year than I would normally do so, because it started before the Christmas period and just developed really over Christmas. So if we keep this going for the next couple of days, then I think we have got to start thinking quite seriously about the chance of some significantly colder weather and maybe even some wintry weather, some snow, into the early part of January. Obviously, you're going to keep you posted. We may go through the GFS ensembles tonight. If not, we'll certainly do it tomorrow. So just keep checking back and watch your space. Things may be about to start getting very interesting. That's it for now. Thanks for watching.